So anyway, what's a recent example of this? I was just talking to Selena about self-worth, and I was kicking some things around, and she listened to me, and she said a few things, and that was cool. And then, I don't know, it's about a week later, she just sent me an email with a little one-liner like, hey, I thought you might be interested in this. And it was just a online Zoom 1 hour thing, free thing called Courage to Ask. And she put it out there in such a nonchalant way, because it's a sensitive area for me, but she put it out there in such a nonchalant way that I wasn't triggered. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll check this Zoom thing out, Courage to Ask. Okay. I didn't, anything, it's such a sensitive area for me. Pretty much any other angle coming from a coach would have triggered me and put me on the defense. But hers was so chill that it actually occurred like an opportunity. And this is just some other group of people that I think she knows about. I don't think she's, acquainted with them or works with them or anything. So it felt like she got an intuitive hit to just sort of throw me this information in such a nonchalant way. So anyway, I went to that workshop, and then I thought about it after the workshop, and I was like, wow, there's one particular area in my life where I don't have the courage to ask, but I really want to ask. And that is, I'm a computer programmer, and my biggest client is Sony, and the bulk of my income comes from Sony. And I think I undersold myself several years ago at my rate, but I'm not sure, because what I do is fairly specific. So it's hard to look out there in the internet and get a quote for what other people are charging. It's a real nebulous, specific thing that I do. It's actual visual basic programming for Excel spreadsheets if you're interested. But I think I undersold myself. So I've been I feel like I'm worth more. I feel like I do a really good job for them, but I've been afraid to ask for more because I didn't want to be greedy. I didn't want to rock the boat with our great relationship. And there's probably about 7 or 8 other concerns I had running around in my head for why I shouldn't or why I couldn't do this. And, I talked to Selena a little bit, and I spent some time myself journaling and sort of sorting out all of these fears and try to neutralize those fears and try to replace them with empowering beliefs of possibility and of worth and all that sort of stuff. And somehow, it was actually a detail I forgot to mention, is that just prior to me doing that, after that seminar, after that Zoom thing, it was about a week later, I'd been mulling it over in my head. And then Selena said, hey, have you thought much about that? What about, your main client, Sony? Why don't you ask them for more? And once again, the way she did it was light, and it was positive, and it wasn't forceful, and it wasn't manipulative. So it was just what I needed. And then I went and took out the journal and did all that grokking and, all that sorting out of my beliefs and everything. And I actually, after several hours, got myself to a point where I had this peace come over me and this clarity. And I just felt so worthy. And I wrote like a 3-line email to Sony saying, I love you guys. I would love to be paid 50% more. And if you can't do it or don't want to do it, that's cool. I love you. You're my best client. I'll keep working at the current rate. But if you can pay me more, I would be so grateful. I feel like I do a great job. I would love it. I didn't give them a big manipulative business sort of, here's the benefits, or here's the additional stuff that you're going to get, or I'm going to turn around the work twice as fast, or nothing like that. It was just from the sense of inner worth and worthiness and believing that, the work that I do is worth 50% more. And so I sent that email out. And then I didn't hear back from them the next day, and all the fears rushed back in. I was like, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. Oh, all that sort of stuff. And then the next day and the next day and the next day, and I didn't hear back from them. And I'm just sort of like going in my head going, oh my gosh, that was a terrible idea and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, a week later, I got an email from them, and they said, sure, we'd love to. We love the relationship that we have, and absolutely 50% more. Boom, done. So last year I made $32,000 from Sony. At that 50% increase, that's going to be about $16,000 more I bring in this year because of that one process I went through, that one email I sent, having the courage to ask. getting to the freedom to do that. I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for interacting with Selena. I wouldn't have done it on my own accord. So she was just the right intuitive, like just the right communications at just the right time to gracefully send me in that direction. And I acknowledge myself for taking the coaching and for jumping on it. But it's an example of how working with her was just a beautiful experience. And the real results in my own life are about $16,000. So I know it's a sales pitch that they give you in self-development seminars. They're like, well, you spend $1,000 on this weekend, but if, in your business you make 50% more, that's going to say, you're going to make $30,000 more dollars, and that easily pays for it. And it's bullshit. It's a sales pitch. They're trying to get you to buy their stuff. So I don't recount the story in a sales pitch way at all. I don't believe in that. I'm just like, no, actually in my life, this interaction with her is literally, if I do the same amount of business with them, which it looks like I'm probably going to do more, then it's going to equate to $16,000 to $20,000. So that's a place where the value of working with another person really hits in a rubber meets the road, like literal dollar figure. But, in addition to that, for me, it's just the quality of the loving communication and interaction. That's of utmost importance to me, and the trust that I have. And with Selena, the trust is there 100% in her heart and in her embodied skill. All that sort of stuff is just freaking awesome. So